World War II sparked the development of some of the finest fighter aircraft ever built, and it is remarkable that many of them still take to the sky. Through dedicated restoration and ongoing care from private owners, museums, and aviation organizations, these historic machines remain active and continue to draw interest from those who study or simply admire aviation's past. So here is a look at 10 notable World War II fighters that continue to fly today, each carrying a unique story from that era. North American P-51 Mustang. The North American P-51 Mustang remains one of the most recognized World War II fighters still flying today, with around 150 restored examples across the globe. Many are privately owned, performing at air shows or flying in heritage formations, their powerful Merlin engine still delivering the same thrilling sound that once filled wartime skies. The P-51D model, the most common variant, is powered by a Packard-built Rolls-Royce Merlin V1650 engine producing about 1,490 horsepower, reaching speeds up to 437 miles per hour, and operating at ceilings of over 40,000 feet. Its range of nearly 1,650 miles with drop tanks made it the first Allied fighter capable of escorting bombers deep into enemy territory, changing the outcome of the air war in Europe. During World War II, Mustangs served in both the European and Pacific theaters, proving essential in gaining air superiority and escorting B-17 and B-24 formations over Germany. The aircraft's agility, endurance, and stability earned it the respect of pilots and foes alike. Today, surviving Mustangs are symbols of both engineering excellence and the bravery of the pilots who flew them, keeping alive a sound and silhouette that once defined victory in the air. Supermarine Spitfire. The Supermarine Spitfire remains one of the few World War II fighters still taking to the skies today. With over 50 examples airworthy worldwide, maintained by dedicated restorers, museums, and private pilots, these aircraft continue to perform in air shows, offering an authentic glimpse into aviation's golden age. Originally designed by R.J. Mitchell, the Spitfire became Britain's frontline fighter during the Battle of Britain in 1940. Its graceful elliptical wings, paired with a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine producing around 1,470 horsepower, gave it excellent maneuverability and a top speed of about 370 miles per hour. The aircraft could climb at over 3,000 feet per minute and reach altitudes exceeding 36,000 feet, giving it a decisive edge against enemy fighters. Throughout the war, Spitfires served on multiple fronts, from Europe to the Mediterranean, continuously upgraded with improved armament and engine power. Pilots praised its responsiveness and smooth handling, making it both a deadly opponent and a joy to fly. Today, aircraft like the Mk9 and Mk16 variants still soar as part of the Royal Air Force's Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, preserving the legacy of the fighter that became a national symbol of courage and determination during Britain's darkest days. Hawker Hurricane. The Hawker Hurricane, often overshadowed by the Spitfire, remains a vital part of aviation history and still graces the skies today. With around 16 restored and airworthy worldwide operated by private owners and historic flights like the RAF's Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. It continues to honor its remarkable combat legacy, powered by a Rolls-Royce Merlin 3-engine generating 1,030 horsepower. The Hurricane could reach speeds up to 340 miles per hour and climb to 36,000 feet. It carried 8 303 Browning machine guns, making it a reliable and heavily armed fighter for its time. During World War II, it was the backbone of the Royal Air Force, accounting for roughly 60% of the aerial victories during the Battle of Britain. Its rugged design, featuring a fabric-covered fuselage and strong construction, allowed it to withstand heavy damage and return home when other aircraft could not. The Hurricane also proved effective as a ground attack aircraft later in the war, operating in North Africa, the Mediterranean, and on the Eastern Front today. Its distinctive hum and steady flight remind audiences of the aircraft that quietly but decisively defended Britain's skies and set the foundation for Allied air power. Messerschmitt Bf-109. The Messerschmitt Bf-109, once the pride of the Luftwaffe, remains one of the few German World War II fighters still flying today. Only a handful of original examples are airworthy, preserved through extensive restorations, and occasionally seen at European air shows. Designed by Willy Messerschmitt in the 1930s, the Bf-109 was revolutionary for its time, introducing an all-metal monocoque structure, retractable landing gear, and a closed cockpit. Powered by the Daimler-Benz DB605 engine producing up to 1,475 horsepower, it reached speeds exceeding 390 miles per hour and operated at altitudes above 39,000 feet. The aircraft's lightweight frame and powerful engine made it a fierce opponent during the Battle of Britain and throughout the war. It served as Germany's primary single-seat fighter, flown by many of history's top-scoring aces, including Erich Hartmann. The Bf-10-9 was continuously upgraded with better engines and armament, evolving through multiple variants such as the E, F, and G series. Despite its narrow landing gear and challenging handling on the ground, it remained a dominant force in the air. Today, restored examples remind audiences of its technological innovation and its pivotal role in shaping aerial combat history. Mitsubishi A6M0. The Mitsubishi A6M0, once Japan's most feared fighter, still flies in limited numbers today. With only 2 fully airworthy examples worldwide, preserved through careful restoration efforts in Japan and the United States, these aircraft remain a rare sight, but continue to represent an important chapter of aviation history. Introduced in 1940, the Zero stunned Allied forces with its unmatched agility, long range, and combat performance. Powered by the Nakajima Sakai 12 radial engine producing 940 horsepower, it could reach a top speed of about 331 miles per hour and operate over 1,900 miles when fitted with drop tanks, giving it extraordinary endurance for its era. During the early stages of World War II, the A6M dominated the Pacific skies, outturning and outclimbing nearly every Allied fighter it faced. However, its lack of armor and self-sealing fuel tanks later made it vulnerable as newer Allied designs appeared. Despite this, the Zero remained in service throughout the war, flown by skilled pilots in fierce battles from Pearl Harbor to the Philippines today. Its smooth lines and haunting history draw deep respect from aviation enthusiasts, symbolizing Japan's engineering ambition and the aerial duels that defined the Pacific conflict. Focke-Wulf FW-190. The Focke-Wulf FW-190, nicknamed the Würger or Shrike, remains one of Germany's most advanced World War II fighters, with only 1 original example still flying and several replicas taking to the skies. Designed by Kurt Tank, the FW-190 entered Luftwaffe service in 1941 and quickly proved superior to many Allied aircraft. Powered by a BMW 801D2 radial engine delivering 1,700 horsepower, it could reach speeds of around 408 miles per hour and operate up to 37,000 feet. Its wide landing gear made it easier to handle than the Bf-109, and its combination of speed, firepower, and ruggedness gave German pilots a major advantage early in the war. The FW-190 was used in many roles, from air superiority to ground attack, and was instrumental in defending the Reich from Allied bombing raids. Later variants, such as the FW-19, 0D Dora, introduced a liquid-cooled engine and improved high-altitude performance. Despite heavy losses toward the end of the war, its design left a lasting mark on fighter development today. Restored and reproduction FW-190s continue to fly at European air shows, offering a glimpse of the engineering precision that once made it one of the Luftwaffe's most respected combat machines. Republic P-47 Thunderbolt. The Republic P-47 Thunderbolt remains one of the heaviest and most powerful piston-engine fighters still flying. With about a dozen airworthy examples worldwide, these restored aircraft are featured in museums and air shows. Their deep rumbling Pratt & Whitney R2-800 double Wasp engines still echoing across the skies. Producing 2,000 horsepower, the P-47 could reach speeds near 433 miles per hour, climb to over 42,000 feet, and carry an impressive payload of bombs and rockets, in addition to 8.50 caliber machine guns. Introduced in 1942, it became the backbone of U.S. Army Air Force's operations in Europe and the Pacific. Known for its durability, it could take heavy damage and still return home. Earning pilots' trust during long escort and ground attack missions, the Thunderbolt's size and rugged frame made it an effective bomber escort early on. Then a devastating close-air support aircraft later in the war, pilots affectionately called it the Jug for its stout shape and reliability. Today, surviving Thunderbolts appear in flight demonstrations across the United States and Europe, celebrating an aircraft that combined brute strength with remarkable dependability, serving as one of the most enduring symbols of Allied air power in World War II. Grumman F-8F Bearcat. The Grumman F-8F Bearcat, one of the last piston-engine fighters developed during World War II, still flies today in limited numbers, mostly in private collections and at air shows in the United States. Introduced too late to see combat, it first entered U.S. Navy service in 1945, representing the peak of piston-engine performance before the jet age began. The Bearcat was powered by a Pratt & Whitney R2800 double Wasp engine, generating 2,100 horsepower, pushing it to speeds near 455 miles per hour, with an exceptional climb rate of over 4,500 feet per minute. Compact, lightweight, and agile, it could outclimb almost every contemporary fighter. Its short takeoff capability made it ideal for carrier operations, while its 4.50 caliber machine guns or 20mm cannons provided solid firepower. Although its combat debut came post-war, the F-8F carried forward wartime lessons, blending the power of the Thunderbolt with the agility of the Wildcat and Hellcat. Many restored Bearcats have also competed in air races, where their unmatched power-to-weight ratio continues to impress. Today, this sleek, high-performance aircraft stands as a living example of how far piston engine technology advanced by the war's end and how it bridged the transition toward jet-powered aviation. Supermarine Spitfire Mark 9. The Supermarine Spitfire Mark 9 remains one of the most recognized variants of the legendary British fighter still flying today, with several airworthy examples maintained by museums, private owners, and the Royal Air Force's Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. Introduced in 1942 as a response to the German FW-190, the Mk9 was powered by the Rolls-Royce Merlin 61 engine, producing about 1,565 horsepower. This upgrade gave it a top speed of 409 miles per hour, a service ceiling of 43,000 feet, an excellent high-altitude performance that helped the Allies regain air superiority. The aircraft retained the Spitfire's famous elliptical wings, providing superb agility and stability in dogfights. During the war, the Mk9 became one of the RAF's most effective fighters, serving across Europe and North Africa. In both air-to-air and ground attack missions, it was beloved by pilots for its light controls, responsive handling, and well-balanced flight characteristics. Today, each restored Mk9 carries wartime markings and individual histories, often linked to specific squadrons or aces. Seeing one in flight remains a highlight at aviation events, preserving not just the engineering brilliance of the Spitfire line, but also the courage of the men who flew it into combat. North American P-51 B/C Mustang. The North American P-51B and P-51C Mustang variants remain among the most celebrated World War II fighters, still flying today, with several airworthy examples preserved by private collectors and museums. These earlier Mustang models featured the Packard-built Rolls-Royce Merlin Viv 1650 engine, producing 1,490 horsepower, enabling speeds up to 440 miles per hour, and a service ceiling exceeding 41,000 feet. The B and C models introduced the iconic laminar flow wing design and improved engine performance, allowing long-range escort missions for Allied bombers deep into occupied Europe. Armed with 6.50 caliber machine guns and capable of carrying external fuel tanks or bombs, they were versatile in both air-to-air combat and ground attack missions. During World War II, these Mustangs helped turn the tide in Europe, providing crucial protection for strategic bombing campaigns and giving Allied pilots a distinct advantage against Luftwaffe fighters. Today, aircraft like Berlin Express and others maintain their presence in heritage flights and air shows, demonstrating both their raw power and aerodynamic finesse. Each flight of a P-51B/C not only showcases technical excellence, but also honors the skill and bravery of the pilots who relied on these Mustangs to achieve air superiority during one of history's most intense air wars.